Welcome to the review of the MSI Claw. Let's begin with the unboxing. Opening up the box, the first thing you'll be greeted with is a quick start guide. Then there's the claw itself wrapped in a nice plastic pouch. Let's put that to the side for now. Next, we get the manual and then the 65-watt charging adapter. The charger might seem bulky at first, but thanks to its brickless prong design, I found that it takes up less space on the outlet compared to other handheld chargers. Now let's talk about the design. My first thoughts when I picked up the claw was that it kind of looked cheap. It was mainly due to the cheap looking D-pad and the plasticky feeling analog sticks. However, I will say that I like the overall design here. It's sleek, ergonomic, and comfortable to hold even after a long gaming session. First impression of this joystick right here, it doesn't even feel like it's rubber here. It's just like a coating of some sort that has a matte texture to it. It doesn't feel rubbery as this stick right here from my DualSense Edge controller that I really like. On the front, it's got a 7-inch 1080p display with a refresh rate of 120Hz that offers a good balance between portability and clarity. It has a traditional controller layout with dual thumbsticks with ring lights, a D-pad, ABXY buttons that also light up, and a left and right bumper and trigger buttons. I'm not much of a fan of the bumper buttons here. It doesn't feel as tactile as my console controllers, but more than that, it has this very awkward actuation point where it only activates if I'm pressing on them from the sides. Sure, it doesn't feel as awkward when I'm actually using the claw, but for people with bigger hands, this might pose to be a problem. It's got 4 buttons around the screen. On the left, it's got a View and MSI Center M button. Then on the right, it's got the Menu and Quick Settings button. While we're talking about the front side here, I also want to say that I find the Hall Effect sticks to feel lighter than what I'm used to, meaning it feels like it has less resistance compared to my console controllers. It's not a major issue, and I've somewhat gotten used to it, but with such a light feel, using the sticks as a cursor doesn't feel as precise. But on the bright side, the Hall Effect sticks are more responsive and durable than analog sticks, so I'd say it's worth getting used to. Then on the top side, you'll find the power button with the built-in fingerprint sensor, a microSD card slot, a Thunderbolt 4 port, a headphone jack, and then the volume buttons. Now let's check out the back side. It's clear that MSI put extra effort into the design here. I really like the sleek ventilation cutouts, accented with the red details here, and the striking dragon emblem just adds to the bold look on the back. Plus, there are 2 customizable macro buttons that lets you program it to your liking. As for the performance, this claw is equipped with Intel's Core Ultra 7 processor and Intel Arc graphics for GPU. It has 16GB of LPDDR5 RAM and 512GB of NVMe SSD. So far, I have been enjoying the performance of the claw. While it's not as quite as powerful as a gaming laptop or a desktop, it did a pretty good job in handling a wide variety of games from AAA titles like Indiana Jones, Black Ops 6, and Forza Horizon 5. Even after hours of intense gaming, I never noticed the claw getting hot. It features MSI's revolutionary intra-flow thermal design that redirects part of the airflow to also cool down the internals, preventing overheating and ensuring consistent performance without any throttling. The claw is also equipped with Wi-Fi 7, which offers multi-gigabit performance, capable of reaching speeds of up to 5.8 gigabits per second on 5 and 6 GHz connections. To get more out of your device, MSI has a built-in software called MSI Center M. This serves as a centralized hub for your games and your device settings. Talking about the settings, let's quickly go through all of them. First up is AI Engine. This utilizes AI to give you the best settings for whatever it is you are doing at the moment. Next is the Mystique Lights. Here you can customize and change the colors of your LED lights on the MSI. Then we have Nahimic. It's kind of like a built-in EQ setting for the claw. One of my favorite features about the MSI Claw has to be the speakers. It has 2 2-watt speakers that sound phenomenal. Definitely the best sounding speakers I've heard on a handheld gaming system. I have yet to feel another handheld device where I'm playing music or sound coming out of the speaker and I feel the vibration like this.
Warning. Warning.
What's going on?
Brace for impact.
What's going on, volume?
Please return to the ship.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Begin. I'll try to find some meds.
I've got a gown. I'll be headed over to help.
Launch sequence activated. 3, 2, 1.
Then there's noise cancellation, where it takes advantage of AI to separate vocal sounds from background noises. Next is the media gallery. I haven't gotten to using it, but I'm guessing this is where all of your screenshots and your recordings would be. And then there's live update, where you can quickly update the device. But for some reason here, it kept on saying I had an update, but when I tried to update the drivers, it did not work, or at least it seemed like it didn't work. I had to manually go to Intel's website to update them. So the MSI Claw has 5 different performance modes, which are performance, that's the one that I mainly use. Then there's balanced, battery saver, manual, and AI engine. Now, here's some more things I noticed coming from a console, specifically the PS5, and it's the rumble. It's nowhere near as powerful as the PS5 controller, but hey, I don't really care about the rumble anyway, at least not on a handheld. Another thing, I also found updating the drivers to be a bit tedious here, especially when compared to the simpler, more streamlined process on a console, but that's the same experience with most handhelds anyways. Battery life is a critical concern for any handheld gaming device, and the Claw strikes a reasonable balance here. The MSI Claw has a 6-cell 53 watt-hour battery that supports up to 65 watt of USB-C PD charging. During my first battery test, I tested it while downloading games and updating the device. While doing this, the Claw lasted around 3 hours 27 minutes with 14% battery life remaining. On the next test, I played games for about 30 minutes or so and then browsed the web. Then I downloaded more games. While doing this, the Claw lasted around 2 hours 41 minutes with 20% battery life remaining. Now it's time for a full gaming battery test where I will game until the battery runs out of juice. Here I have the brightness set to 20%, it is in performance mode, and I gamed from 100% battery life all the way down to 5%, and the Claw lasted around 1 hour 20 minutes. So overall, I would say it has a pretty good battery life in today's handheld gaming standards, and it also doesn't take too long to charge it up. It takes around 3.5 hours to fully charge up the Claw. With all that being said, that pretty much wraps up this video. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And overall, if you're looking to game on the go and you also want a Windows device that can turn into a workstation, then you might want to check out the MSI Claw. This scene right here just looks incredible. Even on this tiny little handheld, I can only imagine how good it looks on an actual console or PC. So with these amazing built-in speakers, it really stands out when you use the whip right here. So that whip just comes to life with this MSI Claw. Resolution 1920 by 1800. Motion blur is set to medium. Overall graphics quality is set to low. You can of course pause it if you need to, and then the vegetation animation is turned off. Resolution scaling is set to dynamic. The game's getting what looks like 30 FPS. But here, let me switch the resolution to 720p so you get an idea of what it's like. Now it's getting about 40 frames per second. It does look smoother. You know, it really doesn't look that bad. But this game is beautiful, and I wouldn't even recommend playing on an handheld. It's, you know, you gotta see the beauty of the graphics. But hey, if you want to play this on the go, you cannot go wrong with playing this on the go. Alright, now let's change the graphics back to the highest setting. I'm also going to change the overall graphics quality right here to medium. This mode, you can definitely see the frame rates drop, but it looks so much better. The sound profile sounds interesting. I kind of want to change it. So you might be able to hear how the parachute sounds like it's you know, somewhere in the background, like it's like a whole surround system. Yeah, which I don't know if it's helpful or not. Let me try to turn that off. I'll just turn that off. There we go. There we go. Finally, I can hear better. There we go. Now you can hear that.